Assalamu alaikum, all of you.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, Stan, you can carry on, Umar.
So, who's gone through the videos of the last two sessions?
I did, sir.
Any doubts in that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Anyone else who's gone through the videos?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any concerns?
No.
Not yet, sir.
Not now, sir.
Okay, so we'll start from here now.
Okay.
Just give me a minute, I'll join. So who can answer the golden question? What
Sir,
was
to
the
make the object,
Yes.
We
create class to make objects. To
Okay,
make the
golden
object.
question is why do we create a class? And what was the silver question?
Sir, why we
Create
know
object.
we need object and
We create object.
So we can call the methods.
Yes.
we
sir.
call the method. Yes, sir.
Correct.
Recording in progress.
So we created that we can create its objects, right?
Yes, sir.
And what is a reference and what is an object? So tell me that difference between a reference and object.
Sir, reference is basically like a banner.
Like a bank account.
Yes, sir.
Object is the real world entities.
Object is who gets allotted the memory.
A reference.
Recording is in progress, right? Yeah. So who gets allotted the memory, object or the reference?
Object.
Shabana said reference.
Reference.
reference only pointing the
Can-
object, then I answer,
So
my answer is the object.
yes, so this is my object of the class student having attributes as roll number, name, and percentage.
Yeah,
And this is the address of that object.
right.
And this is the reference who is pointing to that object. Okay, this is what we had discussed till now. Make sense?
Right, sir.
We can split this object creation and reference creation in 2 steps also. So either we can do it in option 1, both at the same time, like this. Or we can use option 2, in which we can delay the object creation for some later time and just create the reference first. So whenever S2 will point, this S2 will point to where always? S2 will always point to
Object of
object of which class?
student class.
Student class or its children or its,
Children.
okay. So
Or it's a what?
children's child.
Okay, the child class.
Okay, so if we have a class, let's say fruit. So apple is a fruit, right?
Apple is a
Yeah.
child class of fruit.
So fruit, okay. Then green apple is a child of
Apple class.
apple.
Subclass.
So like this, if I say, fruit F2.
Mhm.
So I can make a reference. I made reference of which class?
Fruit class.
Fruit class.
Parent class, right?
Yes.
So for object, I have 3 options. For object, I have 3 options. Either I can make of the very class whose reference is, or I can also make of its child. So I can also say F2 equals to new apple, or I can also say F2 equals to new.
Green apple.
Yeah. So either that class or any of its children. Understood this?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
F2 equals to new green apple also is permissible.
It
Rather,
means
it is expected. Getting it?
parent class of reference can access a child class.
The reference of the parent class can access the object of child class.
Okay.
Okay. So as of now, till now, if you know only this much is sufficient, but later on you will see. So as of now, if you know this much of is sufficient, because sir, we don't know how to create child class. So let's not go into that right now. When we have topic of inheritance, that time we'll go there. So this much was understood, and I can have multiple reference pointing to the same object. Yes, no, maybe. Was this covered?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I can have S2 and S3 pointing to the same address. So this also was covered, and we are also covered this S1, which is now pointing to 1000. Can later on can point to 2000. So multiple reference can point to the same object, and the same
Right.
reference can point to multiple objects. Both were covered, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
This is the object of the student class. Same class object, but another object student S2. So each object will have a unique address. This will be 2000. So now can I take S1 from here and start pointing to 2000? Is it permissible? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, one reference can point to multiple objects, but it
Multiple
point to
objects.
one object at a time. One object at a
Time.
simultaneously, it cannot point to 2 objects. Simultaneously, it cannot point to two objects. This is not permissible.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. So one poster will be there at one side only.
So, sir, one reference can be pointed towards many objects,
One, yeah, after period of time.
and many references can be pointed to an object as
One
well.
object, yes.
So, the many references pointed towards the object, are these simultaneously?
Yeah, you can access the same data using any of these objects. So if this is roll number 101. So, and if this was S1 over here, let's say. So S1 and S2 and S3 both are pointing to 1000. Okay. So if I say SOP,
Yes, sir.
if I say SOP S1 dot roll number, what will be the output?
101.
Or if I say SOP S2 dot roll number, what will be the output?
101.
If I say SOP S3 dot roll number, so they give the same output. So this will be the same. I'm getting it?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's move forward and take a very important topic in the concept of OOPS, that is called as constructor. Have you heard of this term before?
Inheritance is
Inheritance we'll do later on. Maybe tomorrow we can start with inheritance if possible.
okay. Mhm.
Okay. So very important topic in OOPS called as what?
Constructor.
Constructor. So any idea? Have you heard of this term before?
Constructor
For,
is
for me, it's
name
new.
of a class name.
Yeah, the guy,
As the
the
class-
guy who construct anything is called constructor, right, Umar sir?
It's used for initialization rather. It's used to give initial value. Constructor is used to initialize an object. When an object is created, what initial value it will have at the time of object creation, that is defined by constructor. So see, I'll give you an analogy of this also. Okay. See, we all pray that we don't have to visit the hospital frequently, right? Hospitals, police stations, courts, yes or no?
Yes.
But there's only one instance where we would be happy to visit the hospital, which is that when there's some delivery in the house and one new kid is born, then everybody is happy to visit the hospital. Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
So when the mother is admitted, okay, let's say the name of the mother is Mrs. Anisa Patel, whatever name, I don't know, just taking a random name. Okay. So XYZ name, some name is there. Okay. So this is the mother who's admitted, right? So when a new patient is admitted to a hospital, what does the hospital do? They make a file of that patient, right? So they will make a file in which they will store all her prescriptions, all her medical reports, right? So, and the doctor who is visiting this patient, so she's come for a childbirth, so the doctor will be a gynecologist, correct? And what would be the name on this file, I'm asking? When they make this file, so there'll be a name, right? Patient name. So what name will come here?
Anisa Patel.
Yes, Miss Anisa Patel, correct? Mrs. Okay. So now she'll be under observation for 24 hours, let's say. And then they should be shifted to labor ward. Okay. Once the child is born, okay, it's a cute baby girl. So will they record the child's history also in the mother's file? Or will a separate file will be made?
A separate file.
Yes, because that's a new patient, right? And will be visited by a new doctor. So that is pediatrician, correct? So if it's a renowned hospital, okay, so Mrs. Patel is quite well off financially. So they've admitted her to a very renowned and well-known hospital in that vicinity. So here, when the kid is born, what would be the name over here, patient name on this file? This is the mother's file, this is the baby's file. Okay, this is the mother's medical history. This is the child. So what would, okay, so I'll give you now 3-4 options, okay? What if the hospital writes XYZ? Or what if the hospital puts?
Is the name, mother name shows in child.
So what they will, if they write like this XYZ or dash, would that to appropriate? Won't that offensive to the parents when they see this? So putting this is not acceptable, correct?
Correct.
Thus, hospital, they have a standard procedure. What they do is they have a keyword called baby off. What do they write? Baby
Baby or
off, and then they just paste the mother's name, as simple as that. This is what I have observed in the hospitals. Correct?
Correct.
So this is the default procedure they follow. Correct? This is better than writing X rather than writing dash. And then they'll put a gender column. Okay. So the next thing is they'll have a gender column and they'll put a tick against the female. So baby of Mrs. Asper. Got it? Okay, so this is first instance. Okay, this is scenario number 1. Okay, so this kid was going to be born. The parents were aware of it few months ago, correct? 9 months ago. So they would have thought for some name. If it's a boy, we'll name, okay, we'll name him Khalid. And if it is a girl, we'll name her Aisha. This is what they had thought. So now when they know that it's a girl, this father walks up to the receptionist and says that when you're making the file of my daughter, don't write baby of Mrs. Anisa Patel. Write over there Aisha Anisa or Aisha Patel. Okay, so if Anisa's husband is, take any name over here, Jamal XYZ. So now he says, go and write over, please write Aisha Jamal Patel, correct? Is that making sense to you all guys?
yes.
You already thought a name for the girl. So don't write baby of Anisa Patel, write Aisha Jamal Patel, correct? And girl. So this also is a possibility. This is scenario number 2. Okay. Now, neither did the parent think of any name, nor do they want the standard procedure to be followed of writing baby of Mrs. Anisa Patel. So in the ward, in the sharing room in which Anisa was admitted, there was one more mother, and she also gave birth to a baby girl. And the father of that girl named her as Juvaria, whatever name. Okay, I'm just taking random names. And Mrs. Patel liked this name very much. She tells her husband, if we have a daughter, we'll also name her Juvaria. So what did she do? She copied. What did she do? What did she do? She copied, right? She did not have anything.
Yes, sir.
Whatever she observed in the surrounding, from there she got inspired and she copied the name from there. Correct? So are these 3 scenarios understood?
Yes, sir.
Scenario number 1.
Mhm.
Go by the standard protocol. Correct?
Yes.
If you don't want to go the standard protocol, if you have something in mind, you've decided, then go with that. Okay, your user defined that. Okay, but I don't want to go with the built-in. I want to go with my user defined values. Okay, and third is you can copy the values. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
what happens is when I have a class, okay, let me open my Eclipse. Okay, so I'll make a new package for constructor. constructor. Let's make a class called as student first, of whose object we wish to make. So what all attributes do you want to put in the student class? Private,
Roll number, student name,
private
percentage.
string, s name, and let's say private double percentage. Okay, this is sufficient. Okay. Then I have a function which will get student info. Follow this
Accept
naming
a
style and
value
naming
from
convention.
user.
And then yeah, you can use
Scanner SC equal to new scanner.
new scanner and system dot. Okay, and then you can
Next
system
one
out.
is enter roll number.
Okay,
Okay, can you
see,
enter?
we use scanner for accessing the data, right? It gives us, so if I have to read roll number, name and percentage, it will do 3 times, correct?
Yes.
If you want to read all of them together, then what will you do? So for that, you can use buffered reader. Okay, so that's a good opportunity for that. So we have to use buffered reader. Okay, and buffered reader throws an exception. Okay, so just right over here throws exception. This will come later on the topic of exception handling. So I make a buffered reader.
With the role of buffer reader.
We can
Sir?
accept all of this in one statement. Please enter roll number, name and percentage.
Okay.
Okay, so new buffered reader, and you will take new input stream reader. This is the syntax for that. Input stream reader, and that will take from the keyboard, that is system.in. Okay, so if you have to read multiple data together, this is in the IO package. Control Shift O. Now if you say sys out, you can ask for all the 3 things together. Please enter roll number, name and percentage. Okay, and the separated by, so you can say separated by a comma. So when he enters the value, he will enter like this: 101, comma Alice, comma 78.5. Okay, this is how you'll enter. So read it in a string value. So you can say string input equals to br dot read line. Okay, this is your. Okay, once you got the read line, so your entire input has come in one single string, correct? The entire input has come in one single string. The input is looking something like this: 101 Alice and 78.5. Now what we will do is we'll split this input and store it into a string array based on the comma separator. So wherever there will be a comma, it will split that and store it in a string array. So read till the comma, take the first element. Okay, just take a bigger slice in this and store it at 0 index. Read till the comma, take whatever you have, store it at and then read till the end with 78.5, not comma 5. So read till the end and store it in the third index. Who got this? What I'm trying to do? I have broken down a string on the comma separator and stored it into a strings array. Okay, let's say this array is str. So what type of array is str?
String.
So 101 will be a Alice will be a,
String.
String.
and 78.5 will be a,
String. All values are string.
all values are string values. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to split this string now. On which character?
Single
BR.
input.
I'm going to split this input. On which character? It's comma, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to split this input based on the comma character and store it where? Store it in a string array, correct? By the name str. Now what is there at str of 0? If this is my input which I have given over here.
101.
Which 101? Integer 101 or string 101?
String.
String 101.
What is that str of 1?
Alice.
Alice.
What is that
Alice.
str of 2?
78.5.
So
Right.
what do I want to store in roll number? 101 or the integer 10?
101.
1 0.
So what will I do? How do I convert a string into an integer? Have you done this before?
Yes, sir.
So what?
Integer percent.
str of 0, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I take str of 0, which is a numeric string. I convert it into an integer and store it in roll number, correct?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then how do I store s name? That can be done directly, right?
Yes.
Yes, because it's already in
It's a
string.
already a string. Then what to do
Yes.
for percentage?
Double.
Yes. So what are these? These are called wrapper classes. What are these
Yes.
called as? This integer
Wrapper.
Double dot percentage.
and parse double, right?
Double. Okay.
Yes.
Part
Can you explain this string RNO is equals to
First line
integer
you
dot part
read
int.
all the string in a single line. Second line is a string input br dot read line. It's
So
been
that will be one
read
input string.
all strings.
Farooq and Shabana.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I ask the user to enter roll number, name, and percentage at once, but
Mhm.
and I give them a prompt separated by a which character?
Comma.
Comma.
So this is the input I'm expecting.
Okay.
This all input will come in one single string called as what?
Mhm.
So after entering my input string should look something like this. Yes, Farooq.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now what I do is I take a function of the string called as split, and I split this string on a comma separator. So it gets partitioned from here and over here, correct?
Yes, sir.
So now how many chunks do I have now, Farooq?
3.
And these 3 go into that array called str. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yes,
if
sir.
you observe what will come at index 0 now,
101.
but it is an array of
101.
strings. So 101 is 101 in a string format, correct,
Mhm.
Correct.
Farooq? And what will come at index 1?
Alice.
Alice.
Alice in a string,
Alice.
arrays of string, right? And what
Yes.
will come at index 2, Farooq?
78.5.
In a string
Double.
format, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But my roll number over here in the class is of what format?
Integer format.
What data type?
Integer.
So how do I
Integer.
convert a numeric string into an integer?
Okay.
So I take the integer wrapper class and call the parse int function. So this will clip these double quotes and then store it in my roll number variable.
Okay.
Get it, Farooq?
Okay, sir. Fine.
As string is already a string. One is already a string. No need to do anything. Just store it blindly. And what to do about this? Do I want to store the 78 is my percentage a string or is it a double?
Double.
It's a double.
What do I have? I have to convert this into a double, right?
Double wrapper
So
class.
every
Or-
primitive
or is it double?
every data type has a corresponding wrapper class. Every primitive data type. What are the primitive data types we have?
So integer, string,
Integer, string,
double.
double.
Integer, character, float, byte, long,
Boolean.
boolean, float, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
One of them, double, has a corresponding wrapper class. What do you call it as?
Corresponding wrapper class.
Integer, the wrapper class is full capital I integer, okay? For character, the wrapper class is character, entire name, the capital C.
So what is varchar?
Varchar, you are going to Oracle now. I'm going to SQL. You don't have SQL before?
Yes, sir, I love that.
Yeah, that is a string. The string in SQL is called as a varchar, variable character. So each data type has a corresponding wrapper class. So on and so forth. So small L long is primitive, capital long is the wrapper class. Small boolean with a small b is, and boolean with a capital B. Double with a small d and double with a capital D. So these are your wrapper classes, okay? So if I want to do type conversion, I can use these wrapper classes.
Okay, sir, one question. If you go upward,
Mhm.
furthermore, so if here our private string roll number, for example, this was not the integer, it was a string.
Mhm.
And if we have to convert it into integer,
Mhm.
so what would be the procedure?
If you want to convert a,
String into integer.
that's what we're doing over here, no? That's what I'm doing
So
over here.
yeah,
This 101 is a string, correct?
yes, sir.
This 101 is a string. I'm converting it into an integer by applying
Right.
wrapper classes.
So I mean, if our public main class is a string instead of integer, and here if we want to do it in integer, so the coding remains the same or we convert it.
See, what we're trying to do is we're trying to convert a string into a primitive data type called as integer. So whatever type you want to convert it, use that wrapper class and use the function. So wrap integer, then pass in double, then pass double. So it will
If we are converting integer into a string, and if we are converting a string into an integer,
this is I'm doing string into an integer.
and if we convert integer into a string, then it will remain the same.
String. So if let's say you have something called as integer,
Capital string dot parse str.
if you are trying to say integer I, this is what you're trying to say. I want to convert
Yes,
this.
sir.
Okay, the simplest way of doing it is string, whatever j you call it, is I, and just add a double quotes empty to it. It'll convert into a string. Getting it?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Convert it into a string. And we are doing the vice versa. So who understood this buffer reader concept? So this
Yes.
also,
I got it.
I got it, sir.
in one shot also. Instead of using scanner and again for all three. And then we'll have a public void display function. So if I have to write display student info, what will be the case of the functions? D small, S capital.
S caps, I capital.
Yes, follow the standard protocol. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And how will we display it? We will sys out and we will display. You can do it on one line also. Whole number plus S name plus percentage. Okay. So this class is ready. Now my constructor will come into the play. So for the main, I make a new class. Let's say I call stud main as the main function. Okay, now my question is, if I write over here, student S1 is new student, what are the values of S1? It's a new object created, correct?
Yes, sir.
So S1 is a new object. So it is object of which class?
Student class.
Student class.
We'll have attribute of the student class, such as roll number, name and percentage,
Yes, sir.
Right.
and we'll have some address to it, 1000. We'll have a reference of the pointing to it, S1,
Right, sir.
and attributes as
Roll number, S name, and percentage.
my question over here is, what are the values of these?
Currently, roll number is 0, S name is a null, and percentage is
So,
0.0.
so the default values which Java allocates is to an integer, and it allocates 0.
Yes, sir. S name string type is a null.
String, it allocates
Null.
And
Null.
to a double, it
percentage
allocates
the
0.
double is 0.0.
And to a boolean, it allocates false.
Yes, false.
So would you accept it that if the kid is born and against the patient name, they write over there null? Will the parent accept this?
No.
No.
So this is done by the default constructor of Java. Who does this?
Default constructor.
So now, so what is the purpose of the constructor? To initialize an object, right? As I mentioned,
Yes.
what is the definition of a constructor? What does it do?
Initialize an object.
It gives initial value. What is initial value?
Value.
So if let's say someone travels to the States, and the very first hotel in which he stayed, after 30 years, after 40 years, when his grandchildren come to visit him and he picks them up from the airport, he will tell, my initial days I spent over here. Correct? Is that still staying over there?
No.
So initial means when the object is created, that time what value it will have. That is governed by the constructor. So if we don't specify any constructor, have I specified any constructor over here in the class student?
No.
No.
No. So it will go to the default constructor of Java. It will go to whom?
Default
Default
constructor.
What will the default constructor do?
0.
Allot such values.
Yes.
Yes. 0 was
Allot roll number
By
as
default value.
roll number as
0
0.
0.
and name shows null
Name shows null.
and percentage shows 0.0.
So is this acceptable to you all? Or do you all want, so as soon as the object is created, I want some values to it, like 1. So I want like this. Roll number should by default should be 1. Name by default should be unknown, okay, or Alice, whatever. So our demo, we just keep it Alice. And percentage, I want at least 40 because I know everybody in my college has passing marks.
Mhm.
So I want these values for all the objects which are created, not these null values. So if I have another object S2, so each object which is created should by default have these values which I specify over here as default.
Mm.
So whichever object is created should have these default values. So now if I make object 3,
Mm.
that also should have these default values. So instead of having these default values, I don't want to use them. I want to use this as a default value. Getting it?
Mhm.
Yes.
Use no args constructor. Use what? So first constructor is who? Which Java gives you, which is that?
Default.
Default.
Second constructor, okay, the one which we have standard protocol, baby of. So I can now say this is the standard student I want. That is called as no args constructor. What is it called as?
No args constructor.
So I will go in the class and make a constructor with no arguments, okay? And constructor
Sir,
is,
first we need to input some values for the
No.
no args constructor.
I'll show you where to input the value. Okay, see, if this is my car, okay, this is, and this is the, let's say, president's car, the president of
Shah Rukh Khan ka.
not Shah Rukh Khan, let's say president, okay, because president enjoys more privilege than Shah Rukh Khan. What are the difference between, what are the extra privileges this car will enjoy over my car?
Sir, free fuel,
Okay, I have to pay for the fuel, perfect, pay for the fuel,
driver,
pay for the fuel, and this authority pays for the fuel, okay, government pays for the fuel. Okay,
it comes with
Drive.
driver.
Self-car.
chauffeur driven, this is self-driven. Okay,
Yes, sir.
this is chauffeur-driven car. Okay,
And drive by a driver.
so,
Sir, maintenance by government.
okay, then if I have to board a flight, I can take my car till the parking of the airport, right?
Right.
And if the president wants to board a flight, he can take the car till the runway. Yes or no?
Yes.
Sir.
The car can escort him till the runway. What else? I don't have any, there's a siren is there,
Security.
red
No
light,
security.
Scooter.
no siren,
No siren, no security.
no bulletproof, no bulletproof windshields, no security. Okay, so these are extra privileges which this car enjoys. So similarly, your constructor is a VIP. Because why is it? Because the president is a VIP person, correct?
Yes, sir.
So he enjoys this extra, so bulletproof and security, blah blah, and there are many more. Okay. So once the president is passing by the road, all the traffic signals are blocked, and he is passed uninterrupted from the streets. He doesn't wait at the traffic signal, does he?
Yes.
No.
So these are extra privileges which because he is a VVIP person, correct? And this is normal person, normal citizen. So constructor is a VVIP method. Constructor is so there are normal methods. So these methods which I have written over here, display student info and get student info. These are normal methods. What are these?
No.
Normal methods. And what is a constructor? The constructor and normal methods now. Now, what extra privileges does the constructor enjoy over normal methods? So normal methods and constructor. First thing first, constructor name will be same as the class name. Method name will be, method name is same as
Object.
class name.
Yes, sir.
Method name will be same as, so what is the class over here?
Student class.
So in that I will make a
Constructor of student.
method by what name?
Student.
Student class.
Student. Yes.
The method, right?
Yes, sir.
This is called as a constructor. In a class, you make a method by the very same name of the class, with the same font, with the same case, capital S student, right?
Yes, sir.
So capital S student, same to same you have to follow. So first
Okay.
extra privilege, what is the constructor enjoying is? Yes. Name is
Roll
same,
number is 1. Name is always.
name is same as the
Continuous.
class name. Second, okay, if a function does not return anything, what do we have to prefix to the function?
Void.
Yes, exactly. Is this function returning anything?
No.
No.
So what do we prefix? Return type.
Void.
Yes.
Is this function returning anything?
No.
What is return type?
Void type.
Void.
Constructor also does not return anything. Constructor also does not return
Anything.
anything. So
Anything.
technically there should have been a void over here.
Yes, sir.
No.
It does not write void. Even though it does not return, it will still not write void. So no void, no return type, no void return type. Because it's a constructor. So will the constructor return any value? Will a constructor return any value?
No.
No. So
No,
should we write void before it?
Sorry,
No.
No. So constructor will not have no void. So directly public and the constructor name. The rule is
Okay. Yes,
direct
sir.
public
Got it.
and the constructor. Got this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's only for
Normal function-
constructor.
Mandatory to write the public keyword with the
Yeah,
constructor.
mandatory to write public keyword
Yes.
at least till now. Maybe going forward when your corporate training starts,
Mhm.
time we will have, if time permits, we will learn design patterns.
Okay.
What is that called as? In that we can do some manipulating. Till then, it is considered that constructor will have public, as simple as that.
Mhm.
So for you guys till now, 100% constructor will be public. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So second privilege, it does not return, neither does it write void. Okay. Third, if I don't invoke the function, will the code of the function execute? See, if I make the object over here, S1, what will be the output of this code if I run this code?
S1 is a reference. Object is pointed by a reference S1.
Then what is the output of the code?
Output is a 0 and null.
Am I calling display function? Am I calling the display function for you?
Oh, no, I'm not calling anything else.
Am I invoking the function display, which is
Mm.
am I invoking this function?
No, sir.
No,
Am I invoking this function?
no,
No.
So will you get to see this line? Please enter roll number, name, and
no,
percentage.
no, sir.
No, sir.
Why no?
Because he is only pointing the reference of object, nothing else.
Are we calling any method? Okay. So let's say Amir has excused himself for the next month. No, next month, let's say 11th of September. Amir has excused himself. So there is a wedding in my family, in my house. My younger brother is getting married. So I will be on leave for mid of September. And we excuse Amir and we wish him all the best. Okay, and the wedding is in Pune, the very place where I am also there. I pass by that marriage hall and I see Amir's car parked over there. Then when I meet him online, I tell him that Amir, I passed by the marriage hall. And he tells me, sir, why didn't you come in? What will I say?
I was not invited.
Perfect. Yeah. Had he told us before leaving that there is a marriage in my house and I invite everybody of y'all, all 7 of y'all are invited, and along with Shakib sir, along with Sartaj sir, everybody he invites, then he can blame me. Sir, you were invited, then why did you not come? When I was not invited, is it good on my part to attend a wedding?
No, it's not good.
So like this, normal functions, unless until you call them, the code will not execute.
Yes.
But constructor calls it himself. Constructor calls itself. So if Amir's younger brother is there or some cousin is there, can the cousin give that same excuse?
No.
Why? Because you are a cousin, you are auto invited. You know marriage is there. You have
Yeah.
you can't put this blame. You can't give this lame answer that I was not invited. So constructor calls itself. You don't invoke a constructor. Constructor will invoke himself. Getting it? And constructor is in private, in public, sorry, is in public. So these are some of the privileges which the constructor enjoys
No, sir.
over, and it can be overloaded, can be, I will explain this later on, but as of now, just get this keyword. So these are extra privileges. So method name of this is the normal function same? No, right? Not same as class. Name not same as class, correct? For a normal function. Not same as class name. If it is not returning, it has to specify void. Has to be explicitly called. Okay, so called means invoked. And can be in public, private, both. A function as per the logic can be in public, private, both, and it is also can be overloaded. Yes, can be overloaded. So now this is my constructor. So the class name, method, this double quotes indicates it's a method.
Yes, sir.
Name is same as the class name. No return type.
Constructor and
and
type of public.
At times in interview they ask some trivial questions just to check your understanding. So they will tell which is the constructor from these.
First one.
Public student.
Yes, a public student.
This is a student method. This is a regular student method. Okay,
Okay.
like display student, get student info. This is a regular student method.
Can we write a method name as a class name, match with the class name?
If you give the return type, it will be considered as a regular method.
Okay.
Okay, so these
Okay.
both are permissible, but to this student you have to call explicitly then.
Mhm.
Okay, now is this are having any parameters over here? Any arguments? So this is my no args constructor, which is this,
Okay. No constructor.
and here I can specify Farooq, as you mentioned. Where will you specify that? So I will specify over here. Roll number is 1, and S name is Alice.
Okay.
Percentage is 40.
Play a 1, Alice a 40.0 in place of 0, null and
So we
0.0.
are overriding that. Now we are overriding that rule, and now we are saying that whenever an object is made, and while creating the object, am I passing anything?
Nothing.
No.
While creating the object, the bracket is empty, correct?
Yes, sir.
It will go to
Yes.
that constructor whose bracket is empty, this one,
Mhm.
and that object will get values from here now.
Okay, sir.
So now if I make one
If we
more,
pass the value of anything in between the method, then what happened?
1 second, let me just come. So here, if I say 2 and 3, now how many objects are created?
3 type.
Three.
Are going to which constructor?
No.
Public student.
If I delete this, they were going to which constructor?
First.
Java's default
Then-
constructor.
Okay.
Zero null.
They were going to Java's default
0.0.
null and 0.0. Now, once I've written my own constructor,
Yes.
it will give priority to this constructor. It will give priority.
If we do not create a class constructor,
If we
hello?
don't create the constructor, then it will go to the Java's default constructor.
Hello.
These objects will have default values 1, 0, null 0.0, 0, null 0.0, 0, null 0.0. They will have these values then. All the 3 objects will get value from the Java's default constructor. But I don't want that to happen, right? I don't want to give null on the file. Better you follow the standard protocol of unbaby off. So that's why I've written my own constructor over here, which will give the standard names. So each object which will be created. So while creating the object, we will first see Have I passed anything to the object over here? While creating the object student, S1 is new student. In this bracket, have I passed anything?
Yes.
No, right now, no.
Right now, no, right?
No.
If you go to that
No.
constructor, which has nothing, no args constructor. And the,
Sir,
yes,
sir, if the Java has created a default
mhm.
constructor, then how we are able to set an initial value for the object attributes?
Sorry, I didn't get it. Yes, please, can you repeat?
Sir, if Java has creates a default constructor, then how we are able to set an initial value for
Yes.
the object attributes?
We are writing our own constructor, that's why. So Java has 4 types of constructors. Default by Java, and the 3 programmer can program. So now I made a constructor in the class. This constructor will override Java's default constructor. And here I can give the values.
Okay.
So now whenever my object is created, I will first check that while creating the object, when I wrote student, did I pass anything to the bracket? Yes, no, maybe.
No.
No. So it will go to the class and will check a constructor which bracket is empty. And from here you will get the value. So roll number
No.
1, name is Alice, and percentage is 40.0. So this object will not be one null. Now it will be what? 1 Alice and
40.0.
what? Now when I made the second object, did I pass anything?
No.
So that value also will be
No.
Okay.
okay. So they will go to the no args constructor and fetch the values from there.
Okay.
Now if I directly display s1 dot display student info, what will be the output?
So it shows
1 Alice 40.
And if I display
user values, it is
Yes.
asked for
s3
users.
dot display student, then
Yes.
Same 1
And then shows the answers.
and run as Java application will show me 1 Alice 22 times. Okay, got it?
Yes.
Now if I comment the
Okay.
no args constructor, I comment this, and now I run, what will it show me?
0 null 0.0
Correct.
twice.
Getting it?
Yes.
What the constructor is doing?
Yes.
Replacing the value, the initial
Yeah,
value.
that is what I said. It gives initial value. Okay.
Yes.
Later on, if I want to change it, now I want to change it. So you can always call which function? You can always call which function? You can always invoke get student info. And now what will this do? Tell me. Why is this showing like this? Unhandled exception. Okay, so 2 over here also. Throws exception. Okay, now what will this do? Tell me. What will this do? Can anyone tell me? How many objects are created?
3.
And I am using the constructor, and I am using the constructor. What will be the value of the 3 objects?
Rule number 1, Alice
Same.
40.0.
Then when I say s1 dot get display student, what will it display me?
1 Alice 40.
And then when I say get student info, it'll go to this function. Correct? And then I will say enter roll number and percentage. So now here if I say 2 Ben and 98.5, then what happens? It will go in roll number name on percentage of whose, with whom the
1
method is called. It's called with whom? S1, right?
S1.
Now when I say display again, what will it display me?
2 Ben 98.
So you always have option of changing the value later on. Okay. So constructor will give you initial value. Then if you want to change it, you can always change it. Who understood this logic? What I just said?
I understand. We can call from the function.
Yeah. So the job of the constructor is just to give you initial values. If you want to change it later on, you can always change it. So now if I run this code, it will first display me the default, the 1 Alice and 40 value, right?
Yes, in second for we all have to
It
enter
has
manually.
displayed this over here. Then it
Yes,
is
now we can input
now it is asking me. So if I say
2, then
when,
8 and 5.
now it will display me that new value. Who understood this?
I got it.
Got it, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So now,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I
No,
got
sir.
it.
So can you
Yes, sir.
explain it again?
see, these objects are created using which constructor? Tell me.
Sir,
The no
Student.
this constructor, right?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Student,
All the three objects will have the same values, correct?
correct?
So now when I call display student with the first reference, what will it display me?
Alice.
Okay. Then
The value which we provided.
if I want to change the values, I have a function written, which is that get student info.
Here is student info.
That will take the new values from the user and then set it to the object. So now what I do is I call, using the S1 reference, I call this method. So this will ask for the new values. So it will set the new values. Now when I call display, it will display me the new values. This is what I did.
Default
So, sir,
constructor
get
call
student info.
only one time.
Yes, Tabana?
Default constructor calls only one time, and second time it call would display students.
For each object, it
Yes,
will
because
call.
we are calling.
Yes.
We are calling that is.
Each object, it will call the default, the no args constructor.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have three objects created over here, correct?
Right, correct, sir.
So I'll have three objects created. This is S1, S2, and S3, correct?
So, sir, what happened for S3?
S3 will have the values, which is, if it is not modified, it will have the old values. See over here. Now they all three are having this value. You'll agree with me or not?
Yes, sir.
So we have come till line number 8. Okay. Then when I say S1 dot display student, what will it display me?
Default
So,
constructor.
okay.
Don't get confused between default and no args.
Okay.
Default constructor is this.
It's no access.
Okay.
what will
Default
it
constructor it defined there.
One LS 14.
No
No.
constructor.
Correct.
Yes.
Then at line number 10, what am I doing? I'm calling which method?
Get student info.
Using which object?
S1.
So it will go to here, get student info. And wherever roll number, S9 percentage is mentioned, it will be of which object?
S1.
S1. So now I pass over here to Ben 98.5. So 2 will go where?
Roll number.
Which reference?
Then S9.
Of S1, right?
Close
Get
exception.
student. Yes.
So this will become 2, correct?
Yes.
And this Alice will become Ben, right? And 40 will become 98.5. And now when
So,
I
due to throw exception command.
no, not throw this because the function is accepting values and putting the values in the reference.
So, sir, S2 will remain one LS40.
Yes. They will remain. We haven't touched them. They will be as it is. So if you go and display S2 and S3, they will be as it is. We haven't touched them. So if you will
Just change the 10th line from S1 to S2. S2 get student info. S2 dot.
if I display these two, if I display, they will be the same. Nothing will happen to them. If I run, so this is my old value of S1. Okay. Now my new value of S1. new value of S1 display and old values of S2 and S3.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Sir, but
Right.
where is Ben 98.5?
Yeah, so
Where is Ben?
now I gave this value. Now,
It depends on us what we are entering.
now what did I insert? Farooq.
Sir, but in the class where you created student.java,
Class student.java. Okay, yes.
so at the top
Hmm.
here,
This is commented. This is just I gave a
okay,
that time I had given the input. This is in comments. No, this is not executed.
all right, sir, all right.
Getting it, guys?
Yes,
What
sir.
the constructor
Yes.
is doing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when I had it in mind that when I'm creating S1, I will always give this value. Then why should I give it first 1 Alice 40 and then change it? Why not directly give it 3 Tom 60? Why not directly give the name Aisha? First give the name baby off, then give Aisha. When I've made up a mind that I'm going to name the girl Aisha, then what will I do? So the moment when I create the object S1, I will give these values. Okay. So now, at the very moment when I create the object, I will give the actual values. So now, will this go to the default? Will this go to the no-args constructor?
No.
Why no? Because no-args
Because-
constructor takes only empty values, correct? This one.
Yes. Yes.
So now we will make one more constructor which will take argument as integer, string, and double. Okay. So that will be a parameterized constructor. So we will make one more constructor which will take that type of value. The first value will be of type.
Sir, can you explain it again?
Yeah.
What we are going to do?
I just write it first, I'll explain it. See, what I'm trying to say over here is, okay, this is your third type, which is called as parameterized constructor. See, what I'm trying to say is, Farooq, I first made an object 1 with the default values, correct?
Correct.
Then I had it in mind that I will not keep it as 1 Alice 40. I will change it to 3 Tom 60, right? So
Right.
when I had it in mind that I'm going to name the object S1 as 3 Tom 60, then why to first spend on the default and then later on change it? So at the time of object creation, only I will say I want this object as 3 Tom and 60. Others can be the default values. So I can pass the actual data what I want to the object while object creation. So when the object is created, which function is called? Constructor, right?
Student.
So will this call the no-args constructor? S1, will S1 call no-args constructor?
No.
So S1 will call a constructor whose arguments are 3 is an integer, Tom is a string, and 60.0 is a double.
It's already defined.
Correct.
I need such a constructor in the class who will receive this data. So this is my constructor, right? So I can make multiple constructors in a class.
Just remove that no args constructor. Yes.
Parameterized constructor. This is called as what?
Parameterized constructor.
And it is now setting those values which I have passed. So 3 comes into which variable?
S2,
A.
S1.
A, right?
Yes.
A goes into roll number. Tom comes into which variable?
B.
B goes into
That's name.
60.0 comes into which variable?
C.
And C goes into
Percentage.
percentage. So this is called as a parameterized constructor. So now as soon as my object is created, I will have sensible values. So no need to call getStudInfo. No need to call getStudInfo to change the value. My constructor will do that for me now. So now when I call S1.display, what will it display me?
3 Tom 60.
And if I call S2 and S3,
1 Alice 40, 1 Alice 40.
getting it, the difference.
Yes.
So that is called as
So why it not displaying A, B, C?
Why would it display
Because
just parameters?
we are giving the values.
We are just passing these values. These values are being this ABC are holding that values temporarily and transferring it to roll number name percentage. So now if I run this code, what will be the output? 3 Tom 60, 1 Alice 40, 1 Alice 40, correct?
So we can
Yes,
change
sir.
the value of S2 as well, new student, and for something.
Year, you want? Year.
No, student S2 is equal to new
So,
student.
sir,
Yeah, you can
Then
pass over here also.
for-
You can pass over here for
For
DOM.
any name.
Yeah, you can pass.
Yes.
Now you have two
7.
constructors, no? You can pass whatever you want to do. You can use either of the constructors now to create the object.
Just run it.
So now when I display this, it will be 4.
For DOM 78.4, and then
Yes.
we'll
Now,
go
and
to our
as
constructor.
S3 is made by default. S3 will have the default.
78.4. Yes.
Yes.
so sir, in class, why
So
we
we can-
mention ABC?
To hold these values. To hold these values. So these are what type?
Integer and
I
then
need
string
some
and then double.
variable to hold this. I need some integer variable to hold this. So you can name any. You can name X, Y, Z also.
And if we delete here this thing, so I mean, will we able to get the same result or no?
Means
No.
if you delete this,
Just comment this line. Yes.
if you delete this,
Yes, sir.
then this will become a no args constructor. Why you won't have two no args constructor in the same class? There should be some difference between the arguments between the constructors. If I delete this,
Parameterized constructor required the
if I delete this,
parameter.
these two are looking identical, correct?
Okay.
Farooq? So
Yes, sir.
I cannot delete that. So the order in which I am passing, see if I am passing over here 4 DOM and 78.4. What if I make one more student and I now pass to it DOM 78.4 and 5. Now what? Now I need a constructor in the class which will take argument as what type?
A string, then double, and then integer.
Getting? Do we have such a constructor? Do we have such a this signature should be same. So this is what type of data?
A string type,
This is
double,
and this is.
integer.
So do we have a constructor which is having this signature string
For
double?
now, we don't have.
So we can create one if you want.
It's public student, then string A,
Whatever.
double B,
So
integer C.
you can have a string, double, and Farooq, are you getting this? What's happening? So depending
I'm a
on
little
the
bit
parameter what we are
confused.
passing, no, we can make those many constructors. So here I'm not passing any constructor, any arguments. This will go
It
to
will
the
take from no args. Yes.
Okay, Farooq?
So, sir, if you just make the changes on the student main Java, just go to the class of student main Java
Mm-hmm.
and go at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Which line?
No, sir, I'm talking about student main Java.
Okay, student main Java. Okay.
This class. Yeah. Now, in this student S3 new student, if we make changes here
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
in this line, I mean, for example, if we put some random numbers, 5,
Okay.
comma, Sam, comma, 40.
Mm.
So, does this going to reflect?
So
Yes, we have already
when the object is created,
constructed for that.
so this will target the constructor whose arguments of type int, string, and double.
Parameterized. We
Correct.
have that.
So is there any constructor of this type of int, string, and double in your class?
Yes,
Yes,
parameterized type.
Target this constructor.
Then we change here. First one is int string. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a sequence in a sequence.
Getting Farooq?
Sir, yes.
So what
One
is
thing.
what is-
So for S2, when we write for S1, we write Tom 60. So at that time, still we have the same parameters
yeah,
constructor.
function is
So-
write once, read many times. What is the use of function? And constructor is a function. So you write this constructor once and you can use it many times by passing different values. So this will also go to the same constructor. This will also go to the same constructor. This will also go to the same constructor. As this is a different signature, this will go to a different constructor.
So sir, my question is that we have made the second constructor for the same class. I mean, for the same kind of signature.
Mhm.
In S1 new 3 Tom 60.
Hmm.
This is the same signature as 1 LS40. I mean, so why we created another constructor for that?
But
Umar sir, just add in a new one, student S5, then new student, and then percentage first, then integer, and then string.
see,
Then create a new constructor.
if I don't pass anything, then it will give 1 Alice 40. But if I don't want to give 1 Alice 40, I don't want to give baby off. I have thought of the name. Because I had 9 months to think of a boy or a girl name. So I have thought of a name. I want that name on the file directly. So directly I want this value. So what you are trying to say is, first, now if I make S4 as default, this will give what default values, correct?
Yes, sir.
But
And
now
then,
I
sir,
want
if we
value
make
as
changes
Tom
here,
and 60.
and if we make changes here like DOM 4 78.4,
Where?
so the signature is same. So the changes will be made or no? I mean, it is going to reflect or not?
See, it depends on the parameter of the constructor. Are you passing anything over here?
No.
So this will directly lead you to the no args constructor, correct? And
Correct.
that it will get values from here. Okay.
Okay.
So far, so good. But if you want to give your own values, not 1 Alice 40 always, then you can pass your values over here, correct?
Correct.
And whatever signature of the constructor you have used while passing, so you have used integer, string, and a double, correct?
Correct.
So to initialize this object, you will have to write a constructor of that signature in the class of integer, string, and double.
All right, sir. Got it.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now for Sam, okay, so got this. So all these Tom, Dom, and Sam will all use this parameterized constructor, and only S4 will use the default constructor. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the copy constructor. Okay, the lady named Juveria, and the mother liked the name. She also wants to name the child Juveria. Okay, so I want to create one more object S4, which should be same as DOM. Okay, what do I pass over here? I want
Class is
S4
4 DOM
same
and
attribute as DOM.
78.4. Same value of S2 reference.
I want S4 to have same value such as DOM.
Yeah,
DOM is with
S2 reference.
S2. So now S2 is of S2 is of what type?
Integers.
Parameterized constructor type.
Parameterized.
No, S2 is of student type. S2 is of what type?
Student type.
Students.
Type, right?
Yeah.
See, when I say integer I equals to 10,
Hmm.
I is of what type? The type which is
Integer type.
Integer type.
the keyword which is
Data
before I,
Hmm.
which is the keyword before I.
Right.
So I is of what type?
Integer type.
The
Integer.
keyword written before I, correct?
Okay.
So S2 is of what type?
Student type.
Student.
Now, do we have a constructor of that type? So I will go and make a constructor whose argument will be of student type, correct? So I will just we don't retype. Yes. So now that S2 will come where? In call by reference. Remember call by reference?
Yes, sir.
So S2 and S3 will point to the same location. Then I'll say whatever S2's roll number.
Sir, here you write ST.
Yes, ST, because it is object. No, object is passed by reference.
Okay.
So whatever was in S2 has come into
ST.
ST. So ST's roll number will be this roll number, ST's name will be this name, and ST's percentage will be this percentage. So this is called as copy constructor. It's called as when you pass an object. See, remember, did you understand call by reference? Who understood call by reference?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if there is a girl by the name Tabassum, okay? Her name is Tabassum. And this is her social security number. So US guys might relate with this. Indian guys might relate with Aadhaar number. Okay. So this is her Aadhaar number. Okay. Let's say whatever. 111222333. Blah blah blah. So this is her father's house before marriage, and this is her husband's house after marriage. Okay. So this is father house. So in father house, they will call her by what name?
That was
And the husband has given her a pet name, Tabbu. Okay. So are these two different individuals, Tabbu and Tabassum, are the same?
same. Both are same, but
They
name
are
different.
the same individual whose Aadhaar card number is this, but at two different geographical location. They are being called by two different names, but it is the same individual, correct?
Mhm.
So let's say if the father house is in Texas and the husband's house is in New York. So when she is in Texas, by what name do they call her?
Both name.
Hmm?
Tabassum.
And when she's in New
Live
York, by
in
what name do
Texas,
they call
then
her?
Tabassum, and
Tabbu.
when
So
she live in New York, then Tabbu.
My question is Tabassum and Tabbu two different individual, or is it the same name to two different individuals? Or is it the two different names to the same individual?
Two different names for
different
same
name to
individual.
same
Yes,
individual.
that is called call by reference. That is called call by when
Reference.
two references point to the same object. Can two reference point to the same object? Can two reference point to the same object?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. It is
So yes,
possible.
this is what is happening. So the two references are what? What are the two references? I have circled.
Tabassum and Tabbu.
Tabassum. Tabbu and Tabassum.
They are pointing to the same object, right? So if that Tabassum has a height, weight, so is the height of Tabassum and height weight of Tabbu same or not?
Same.
Height of
Same.
Tabassum and height of Tabbu same or not?
Same.
Same, sir.
Or is it different? The thumb impression of Tabbu and thumb impression of Tabassum same or not?
Same.
Not sir.
So this logic I've applied over here. So whenever you pass a reference of an object, it is used by call by reference. So here I pass what over here as an argument?
Yes,
The
two.
constructor and
Reference. Reference.
I pass S2, right?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
What is S2's roll number?
4.
S2's name.
Four.
Dong and 78.4.
S2 you can think of Tabassum. And now this S2 I received where?
S4.
ST.
Okay.
So ST is Tabbu. Now is S2 and S2 and S2 same or different?
Same.
Same. So when I say ST dot roll number means what?
Sir, S2 roll number.
I say ST dot S name is what?
S name.
And when I say ST dot per is what?
Per.
So S2 and ST is same, right? S2 is equal to ST.
S2. Yes, sir. Correct.
So whatever S2's details are there are being copied over here.
Yes, sir. Got it.
So object, when we pass a reference of the object, it is taken as call by reference. So S2 and this ST are both same. So who understood this concept?
Yes, sir.
So when I
So
pass
far,
the
so good.
reference, this is, we'll use copy constructor. We'll use which constructor?
Copy constructor, yes.
So now tell me, yes. So now if I make object S5 and don't pass anything to it, which constructor will S5 use?
Parameterized.
Nine.
No.
No, it's default
constructor.
default
I'm
constructor.
confusing
No
default
args.
with no args. I'm not understanding.
No args. No args.
No args, yes,
What
sir.
is default constructor, Shabana?
Yes, sir.
What is
Null,
default constructor?
0, null, 0.0.
0 null 0.0.
Yes,
So
sir.
which is
Right.
called the default constructor.
Yes. No args constructor.
Array,
Default.
no args and default is not same.
Okay.
You're laughing over there.
It's a self default constructor.
Default and no args are not. So what are types of constructors?
4 types.
4 types. Default, no args,
One is
parameterized,
given by Java is one. Which one is that?
default.
What does
Default.
this default constructor do? Gives all null and zeros, correct?
Right, sir.
Yes.
Then if I want to, then is my constructor, what is no args constructor?
This passing a
Constructor
values.
parameters are empty.
Yes, sir.
Constructor whose parameters are empty.
Empty.
And which is parameterized constructor?
There is some value.
Cons-
Parameter passed.
We have passed the parameterized. So to which we can pass parameters, correct? Whatever integer, character, float, blah, blah, blah. So whatever order we are passing, we have to take in the same order. So if I pass int string, I should have a constructor for int string. And if I pass string int, then if I pass int string while creating the object, the constructor arguments should also be int and string, right?
Okay.
And if I pass string and int, then make one more constructor to take string and int. The signature of what you are passing and the constructor should be same. And fourth is I can pass a reference that is called as,
Copy constructor.
what will copy constructor take?
It's called a
The reference
constructor.
existing class. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So my question over here is S5 is being, this is my class. Look at the class properly. Do I have a no args constructor? Line 26.
Is a 26.
Yes,
Now
Yes, sir.
S5 is being made by which constructor?
No args constructor.
no args constructor, yes.
Okay. S1 is made by which constructor?
Parameterized constructor.
Parameterized. And S4 is made by?
Copy
Constructor
copy
or
constructor.
reference.
Who's understood
of the
all of
class.
the 4 constructors thoroughly?
Got it.
Yes, sir.
Amir,
Yes, sir.
Mehtab, yes. Ataullah,
Yes, got it.
got it? Understood? Farooq,
Yes, sir. We
Really
got it for
okay.
now, but needs a little practice for that.
so what is causing confusion over here to you?
No, not confusion, but I need some practice, sir.
Yeah, you practice. Okay, now if I change the order over here, do I have any constructor for, if I pass the data like this, first the percentage, then the roll number, then the name. Now, will this parameterized constructor suffice, or do I have to write one more parameterized constructor?
You have
I
to write.
need parameterized
Parameterized constructor.
Has to be written for which type? Double.
First one double integer and string.
Go over here and write a
Can you change
parameterized
here?
constructor for no change. Keep that, no? Why
Okay.
do you have to change it? Because then it will disturb these guys, right?
Sequence. Okay.
Change it, right? One more, no? You can write as many constructors you want.
Mm.
So, what is the signature of that?
First one is double,
Double comes over here first, then
then please
int
back, I can't remember.
and string, correct? So now this error will vanish and we can use a new reference.
Okay. First double integer field string.
Okay, so we can use. Okay, so if I have 3 data members, how many data members I have? How many data members do I have in the
3.
class?
3.
Which are there?
Double, integer or string.
Roll number,
I mean
percentage.
string, integer string.
What are the data members we have in the class? Roll number, S name, percentage, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I can have 3 factorial constructors. Means what? How many constructors can I have? What is
6.
it? Can I have constructors? Can I have how many constructors I can have? 6 constructors. So I can have int, string, double, int, double, string, int, double. Remember, string. So I can have different permutations.
Okay.
Who understood the topic of constructors, guys?
Got it.
Very, very, very important discussion of
Yes, sir, got it. I got it, sir.
got it, right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So this is one thing I wanted to clarify. Okay, then today we'll also do what is array of objects. What is an array? Who can define me what is an array?
There is a collection of a similar object,
Collection of
similar object.
the data type, you can say, right? So if I want, what is this?
One-dimensional array.
No, array of what? Array of what?
Integer.
Integer type.
Integer type array, right? Yeah, just
Simple.
wait for this. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay.
1D integer type.
Okay. So in an array, whatever type of data is there at the 0 index, similar type of data will be there at the other indexes. Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
So here, if I say 10.5, will you still say arrays of integer?
No.
Arrays of what type now?
Double.
Double. So what will come at index 1 then?
25.
Double,
5. Yes.
correct? All doubles. So in this example which we just did, how many objects do I have? So if I have to store the height of 4 people, and if I take double height 1, comma height 2, comma height 3, comma height 4, is this appreciated, or is there any other alternate way which we can do it? Yes, guys. I want to store the height of 4 individuals. So I take 4 variables of type double. Is there any other efficient way of doing it? Yes, Amir.
Yes, sir. We can take array, sir.
Repeat the question, please, sir.
If I want to store the height of 4 individuals, so I have 4 variables to store it. Is that efficient?
Okay.
Or is there any other way which we can do it more efficiently?
Yes, sir.
So we use an array.
Array of what?
Make a
Double
class.
type, double type.
Double type array, and name is at height and size of.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
4.
right, sir.
If I wanted to store the height of the entire batch, let's say in a batch we have 40 students. So would this look pretty?
Mhm.
No, sir.
Your manager
Not
like,
at all.
like this.
No.
We
At 10 students,
allocate a
the batch
different
had 10
array.
students.
We make
Will
different
will
array.
look this pretty? Will this look pretty?
No.
What is a better alternative of that?
Double height 40. Yes.
Correct? So now my question comes back over here. How many objects have we made?
6 objects.
And is this looking pretty? S1, S2, S3, S1.
No.
What is a better alternative?
We can make an array.
Array of what?
Object type.
We have made array of height, right?
Student.
We have made array of double over here.
Array of object.
Array of objects, absolutely correct. So what
Yes,
we
sir.
can do is, so I will make an array. Let's say I want to store 6 students. So each index will have an object of type student, correct?
Yes, sir.
Index 0 will also have an object. Index 1 will also have an object. Index 2 will also have an object. So on and so forth, right? Let's say I have 5 students. So I can name this array as, let's say if I name it as SCS, and size what?
5.
5.
What will go over here is my question. Object of student, correct? So
Yes, sir.
what is the type of this array? Student,
So student.
Student type.
right? So like this I can say. So this, no need to give the size over here. So how many students you want to store?
5.
5.
So that we can do on the RHS. That you can do on the RHS. So you can say student S this. So this square bracket is an array, okay, not a simple variable. And you can say new what?
Student.
Square bracket you can give
And size of
size.
the array.
Now this is which index?
0, 1,
Index.
2, 3, and up to 4.
So if I have to run a for loop, I'll run it from which index to which index?
First one executed 0 and then 1, 2, and up to 4 times.
So I'll run the for loop from where to where?
0 to 5.
0 to 5. Mashallah.
4. 0 to 4.
0 to 4. So how will your loop start from?
For loop.
Integer I
I,
equals to
yeah, I is equal to 0. I
less
less
than-
than equal to 4.
if I make over here 10 and 4,
If you want to 10, then
Then equals to 9.
size of the array be increases, not 5. We take 10.
and if I make it 15, then you will keep on changing the code every time.
Yes.
So directly can't we say SCS dot length? SCS dot.
Right, sir. Length.
Okay, so what is the length of SCS array? This is the length.
Yes, sir.
5. So start from 0 go till less than the length. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Length increases to 10, then
It's automatically
no
changes
need
it.
to change the
And
code.
I
Okay.
plus this.
Now what is the value of I in the first iteration?
0.
0. Okay. So I'm talking of which place? This place, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I will make a new object. Okay. So these are just now references. Okay. If you can just understand this concept, no? These are just now, think of them as your references. Okay. So I will create an object. I will create a student class object. Okay. By which operator do we create object? Which keyword? With which keyword will I create object?
Student.
Which keyword? New keyword.
New keyword.
Okay, so now if I say over here new student, I get object. This object will be stored at which index of the array?
0.
I.
At the I index, right? Because this
Yes,
is
sir.
so I can say SCS of I equal.
Right, sir.
So in this, first we have to create the array and then iterate to the entire array and then create those many objects. So I'll come again. If I write this statement, what happens internally? Tell me. Who can tell me what happens by writing this statement? What will happen internally? Anyone?
First one executed SCS 1.
No, I'm asking just I just write this statement, this one on the top. So what has happened over here?
An array of 5 objects.
An array of 5 objects has been created, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
From index 0 to 4, right? Now I have to place 5 objects in it. So I create the first object. So I will create object of which class? I will create object of which class?
Student.
Student class.
Class.
I made an object writing over here new student. This will call which constructor?
No args.
No args constructor. No args constructor will place what in the student? Whole number as
Name.
1.
S name as
Alice.
Pulse.
percentage as
40.
correct.
Correct, sir.
So where will I place this object now? At which index?
0
I'll
index.
say SCS of I and I is 0, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this object will come here. Then I will increment. I will become what?
1.
1.
Then what will I do? Again create one more object, correct?
Right.
Using which
It
constructor?
shows in parameterized constructor.
Using which constructor? No arg, right?
Parameterized.
So what will be the roll number?
1.
One.
Alice.
Which one?
Percentage as
Huge. Okay.
40.
where will this go? At which index?
1.
SCI SCS of 1. So it will come here, correct? Then again the loop. I will make one more object. Correct? Where will that? SCS of 2, correct?
Yes.
I will increment, I will become 3. I will make one more object. Go to where? SCS of, then
3.
I will become 4. I make one more object. And then I becomes 5. 5 is not less than 5, loop will terminate. Why these objects are created. Who understood this?
Yes.
Got it.
So first you have to create the array and then create those many objects to put in that array. Okay, what if I wanted to create these 5 objects with a parameterized constructor? Each object should have its own roll number, name, and percentage. So this should be 1, Alice and 40. This should be 2, Ben and 50. This should be 3, Charles and 60. And this should be 4, Dom and 70. And this should be 5, Elcid and 80. Now, if I want that, what logic will you apply? So what I will do is,
Then we use a parameterized constructor.
perfect. Then we use parameterized constructor. So what I will do
Here
is,
we use a new students.
so what I'll do is over here, I will take a scanner. Okay, and I will ask the user to enter the three things. Okay, SOP, enter roll number, enter. So what will he enter? One. What will he enter?
Oh,
One. I will put one into the variable C. So A will have what data?
SC dot next int or
We have one, right?
right, sir.
Then I will ask him to enter,
Name as name.
and I will put name where
So we store there in MP section
string B, variable.
string name your B,
Have-
whatever, right, is a SC dot next line.
Next will do.
next is
And then I will take third.
So dot next or next line. Next
also.
is always store only one number, like name is Rohit Sharma, so it shows only Rohit and not a Sharma.
Okay, so you want to take
So
with the
we use a, yes sir, complete name, then we use a next
one, you can
line.
use that. Okay, no worries. Okay, so I take this. So first is.
And third one is the double.
So what we take integer, we did not mention enter roll number, right? So I will say enter roll number. You take it in A, enter name, you take it in B. And I say enter percentage, and you take it in next double, this is next line, correct?
Okay.
And you take it in which variable?
double B.
Double. But sir, in this case, here is a error, and I'm not showing error, but the cursor shows directly in line third one, double, not showing a name. Then we change the here SC dot next lines, change it integer bracket में %.
You can do this then. Take it at the end last.
Okay.
Okay, take the name at the end. So what is in the roll number? A. It comes in B. And this I'm putting in the for loop. Okay, this I'm putting in the this is coming over here. This code of the red line will come here. And then now while creating the object, pass A, B, C to it. Pass what to it? Pass A, B, C to it. So we'll call which constructor?
So ABC.
Parameterized constructor. So you will take the values 5 times, and by time you will create the object with 5 different values.
Okay, sir.
One Alice, then two Ben, and whatever name you are giving, will make the objects by that time. Who understood?
Yes, sir, I understood.
Now let's code this, okay? So let's try to code this much.
Okay.
4, and this is DOM 70.0 and 5 and SID and 50 point, whatever.
Sir, if
I
you
have
want
to
to
display
show all or constructor in array, then what we do, sir? All 4 type of constructor, default and parameterized, and last one is
If you're using default means,
reference.
if you're using no args means default is out of the equation. By writing default, by writing no args constructor, we are eliminating the default constructor, correct? And now we are using over here parameterized. So you can use whichever your task demands.
Yes.
No need to write all 4 if they are not asked for. So now if I want to display all these details, then if I want to display all the details, then what will I do? I again take a for loop and do what? With each, I will call which function? With each, I will call which function? Display student info, correct? I will call which? So now if I call, what is the value of I in the first iteration?
0.
Roll number.
0. Value of I in the first iteration.
0.
One.
So if I call SCS of 0 dot display student info, what will it display me?
Roll number and
Roll
name
number
varies
1
and
and
40.
45.
Yes, sir.
Then I increments, I becomes 1. If I call SCS 1 dot display student info will display me.
Roll number 2, Ben
Ben.
and
Okay.
50.0.
So the beauty of
And
array
so
of
on.
objects is your class will not change.
Mhm.
The beauty of array of objects is no need to make any changes in the class. This will remain as it is. Okay. This data will be as it is. Get student info will be as it is. Display student info will be as it is. Default no args parameter. Parameterized constructor. Okay. This is not needed, right? This was a bit fancy. So you could have eliminated this. And if you want to use, you can use the copy constructor, else you can remove that also. And only what will change is your main will change. So now instead of giving these 6 objects, what will we write? What will we write? First make the array, right? Array will of what type?
Student
So,
type.
this is an array, okay?
Yes, sir.
Use student.
New
The size of the array.
size.
Now
Okay.
there are a for loop from
Very
where to where?
fast. I is
Integer
equal
I
to 0, I less than 5.
5.
C length
Okay.
Five.
SC dot length.
SCS dot length.
Yes, sir.
I plus plus.
What is the value of I in the first iteration now?
0.
Now first take those
System dot out dot println and then enter roll number.
enter roll number of students. If I just want to say student 1, okay? I want to say of student 1. So I will say of
I STUD plus I.
I plus 1, right?
Not plus 1 is the I. Okay, roll number 1. Take it. Okay, sir. Wait, I plus 1.
So in which variable? Where is the scanner? Okay. So what will we say?
SC dot next int.
Similarly, what will you accept?
As it is
The
name and
Let's say percentage. What will you say?
double and next double.
Double C will take because name will be of what?
Next double.
Then what will you accept?
Name.
And
Here we use
and
string
string. C,
next line.
you can use next line if you wish.
Right.
Okay. And now
Yes.
I will make a new student. I'll call the parameterized constructor with A, B, C. So do I have a constructor with integer, string, and double?
Yes.
Yes.
You have to have to store it in.
SCSI is equal to new.
So this will run and it will accept it. And now I will run and I will display it. So will I display? SCS of I call what?
This is out.
Display.
Sir, this is out.
I'm doing over there,
SCSI.
no?
Okay.
That I'm doing in the display function.
Okay.
So now if I, so 5 will be too lengthy. Let's keep it 3, okay? So unnecessary, you will keep on asking for a lot of data. So now I run this code. And now let's start. So it says, okay, there's some error it is telling. See, there is this red dot over. You see the red dot over here? I mean, there's some error
Yes,
over here.
sir.
Okay, unnecessary. One
Extra curly braces.
star.
Okay.
Okay, now it's okay. Now let's do it. So enter student roll number for student number 1. Enter 101. Enter the percentage of student 101. 3.0. The name of the student.
This name of the student indirectly reach the
Directly
student number.
that over there. Okay.
Here we use the println.
That is good that we use buffer table. Just stick next.
Okay. Only next.
Okay, later on we can fill it out with that. So 101 and the percentage is 0.4. Name is Alice 102.
60 Ben
103. 70.4 and Charles. Accepted and displayed. Got it?
Yes,
How
sir.
can you carry out object? Okay, now if I want to check, do I have a student by the name Charles in my batch? There or not?
Yes, sir.
I find that. So in the class, I will go. I'll make a method by name public void find student by name. And what will I pass to it? String string, correct? Okay. So when I call this find student by name by the first object SCS of 0, what is the S name? Okay, let's take this as only X.
Alice.
So what is the SCS of 0?
Alice.
And what is in X? I'm searching for Charles, right? Is it matching?
No.
And when I call it by the second object, what is the S name?
Ben.
And what is in X?
Charles.
Comparison. We use
Matching.
a comparison operator here.
X is equal to
So
Charles.
how do I do that now? So I go to void main. Once I have
For
displayed,
loop with if
I will
condition.
first accept the name I want to search. Right? I will say please enter name to search. And I will take it in a string variable, whatever string s equals to sc dot next. Now what is in x s now? What is in s?
Charles.
Now I will compare it with Alice, Ben, and Charles. So again on a for loop. And now I will say SCS of I dot find student by name. And I pass what to it? So now I am calling the function using which object?
I.
SCS of 0, correct?
Yes.
So what is the name in SCS of 0? If this is the
Alice.
data we have. This is the data we I'm calling the
Sir,
function
one-
with SCS of 0.
One request, sir.
Yes.
Sir, it's almost 12:45 here at night in US.
Yeah, I'll
So
just I
can
have to go 10
we-
minutes break, no? That's why I'm covering up for that lost time. So we'll just finish it in around 2-3 minutes and then we'll back up. So you'll have something to ponder about in today's session. Then you can practice. Just give me 2-3 more minutes and we'll wind up.
Sure.
So my question is, I'm calling this function using which object now? SCS of 0, correct?
Yes.
So wherever in the function I will say s name. What will be the value of s name?
Alice.
Alice. And I have passed the number I'm searching for in which variable? S, correct? So now I'm calling find student by name function using which reference? SCS of 0, correct?
Right.
So it will come here. So wherever there will be S name, it will be whose S name?
S name I.
So who is the I? What is the value of I?
0.
So SCS of 0, I'm calling the function with which reference? SCS of 0, correct?
Yes.
So in the function when I say S name, it will be whose S name?
I.
I, what is the value of I?
0.
0.
Whose S name will be there?
0.
So what is 0's S name?
Alice.
And what is in X?
Alice.
What is in X?
Charles.
I have passed S over here, right?
Yes.
This S is coming into X over here. So what is in X?
2.
I'm searching
X
for
is the S.
Charles, right?
X is the S.
Yeah, so what is in X? I'm asking. X is having what?
Charles.
Charles. And what is in S name? I am calling by SCS of 0.
Alice.
So I will say if SCS dot equal S, will it be equal in this iteration?
Okay.
Will it be equal in this iteration?
Print S name.
Will it be equal or no?
Hmm.
It will not be equal. So will it go in the if or not?
If not, then else condition. It's
No,
not
no,
found.
else at the moment.
Okay,
So
okay.
will it go in this if or not? So my first comparison is Alice equal to Charles.
No, false. Found. Not found.
Will not go. Function over will come back over here. I plus I will become what?
1.
Case of 1, I am calling my student by name. What is
Ben.
the S name now? Of case of 1
Yes.
Ben.
is Ben equal to Charles.
No,
No.
not found.
Again, function over again comes over here. And I plus
Last.
I becomes 2. Now SCS of 2, I am calling student by name. What is in SCS of 2?
Charles.
Yes.
What will it say?
Student found.
What will be the output of the program? Found or not found?
Student found.
Found, right? So now if I run over here, so if I enter first as whatever, okay, 1, okay, 40, and Alice, 2, 50, and Ben, 3, 6. I should have
Exception throws.
number format exception. 1, 50, Alice, 2, 60, Ben, 3, 70, Charles, right? Displayed. Now enter. So if I enter over here Ben, what will it say? Found or not found?
Found.
Got it?
If we use abandoned found.
Tomorrow we'll do for not found. So this
Okay.
is how you can iterate through the array using functions. Okay. Chalo, it's too late. We'll stop here for today and practice this constructors and practice array of objects. Okay.
Sir, can you just paste this program into chat?
Okay, I'll bring this.
Okay.
Nice. On which chat you want?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp chat, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring it right away. You want the class and the both students should mean, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So you get it. Got it? Farooq, you can jump on.
Yes, sir.
I will got the
Got
code.
it. Yes, sir. Got it.
That is the student class and this is the student name. Okay, bye guys. See you all tomorrow. Take care.
Bye, sir. Thank you.